Most people discover the truth too late. The people you expect to lean on at 60 may not be the ones holding you up. I'm angry. I'm angry because I've watched too many good people, people who gave their whole lives to others, sit alone in their golden years wondering where everyone went. I'm angry because society feeds us this beautiful lie that family equals security, that love equals loyalty, that the people who share your blood will automatically share your burdens. But here's what burns me up the most. Nobody tells you the real truth until it's too late. Nobody prepares you for the moment when you realize that emotional bonds don't pay medical bills. Nobody warns you that distance doesn't just mean miles. It means priorities, new families, busy schedules, and sometimes just plain indifference. I've seen it happen over and over again. The devoted mother who sacrificed her career for her children only to find them too busy with their own lives to call. The loving father who worked 3 jobs to put his kids through college, now sitting in a doctor's office alone because they all live in different time zones. The caring sister who was everyone's rock, now wondering who will be hers. And you know what the cruelest part is? These aren't bad people being abandoned by evil families. These are good people discovering that love and reliability aren't the same thing. These are caring individuals learning that emotional connection doesn't automatically translate to practical support. Life after 60 has a hidden reality no one warns you about until it hits you like a freight train. Your body starts demanding more attention. Your energy becomes precious currency. Your world can shrink overnight due to health changes, retirement, or loss. And suddenly, all those assumptions about who will be there start crumbling. Family equals love. We're told that from birth. Family equals comfort, connection, the promise that you'll never face life alone. But here's the painful truth that's eating at my soul. Emotional bonds don't always translate to reliable support. I'm furious because I've watched beautiful souls realize too late that their children, their siblings, their relatives, people they die for, might love them deeply but still be unavailable when life gets hard. And it's not always because they don't care. Sometimes it's because they're overwhelmed with their own struggles. Sometimes it's because they live thousands of miles away. Sometimes it's because they simply don't know how to help. The reality that nobody talks about is this: life after 60 shifts everything. It shifts priorities. Suddenly, health becomes more important than wealth. It shifts finances, fixed incomes, meet rising costs. It shifts relationships. You discover who shows up and who just shows concern from a distance. But here's what makes my blood boil. We're not preparing people for this reality. We're still selling them fairy tales about rocking chairs surrounded by grandchildren, about family dinners every Sunday, about children who will drop everything to take care of their aging parents. Meanwhile, the real world is full of seniors who are learning that what truly sustains you after 60 isn't just who cares about you. It's what you've built for yourself. I'm done with the pretty lies. I'm done with the false promises. I'm done watching people reach their 60s and 70s unprepared for the truth that independence isn't just preferred, it's essential. In this video, I'll break down the 5 strongest foundations you can rely on after 60. Foundations that don't get weak with distance, aging, or family dynamics. These aren't feel-good platitudes. These are survival strategies born from watching too many people learn these lessons the hard way. Let me tell you about financial independence, and I'm not talking about being rich. I'm talking about having a structured system for money that doesn't depend on anyone else's goodwill or availability. After 60, unpredictable expenses don't just increase, they explode. Your medication costs more. Your car needs more repairs. Your home requires more maintenance. Your body demands more medical attention. And here's the kicker. All of this happens while your income typically becomes fixed or reduced. But what really makes me see red is watching people discover that family promises about money are about as reliable as weather forecasts. Don't worry, Mom, we'll take care of everything. Dad, you don't need to stress about money, we've got you covered. Beautiful words that often crumble under the pressure of real life. Let me introduce you to Mrs. Amina. She's a retired seamstress who learned this lesson before it was too late. When her children started their own families and moved to different countries for better opportunities, she could have felt abandoned. Instead, she got angry enough to create what she calls her 3-bucket system. Bucket 1 covers her daily needs: rent, utilities, groceries, transportation. This money never gets touched for anything else, ever. Bucket 2 handles health and emergency expenses, medical bills, home repairs, unexpected costs that would otherwise destroy her peace of mind. Bucket 3 is for joy and hobbies, because what's the point of surviving if you're not living? Her children love her deeply, but they have their own mortgages, their own children's education to fund, their own financial pressures. Mrs. Amina's system doesn't need their love to work. It needs her discipline, and that's something she can control. Here's what you need to do, and I'm not suggesting, I'm demanding. Build a monthly cash flow map. Write down every penny that comes in and every penny that goes out. No estimates, no rough guesses. Exact numbers. Because you can't manage what you can't measure. Split your funds into automated buckets. Set up automatic transfers so your money goes where it needs to go without you having to think about it or rely on your memory or anyone else's promises. Add one passive income source, no matter how small. Rent from a room, dividends from investments, income from a small business, something that pays you without requiring your daily labor. And here's the part that might hurt. Remove emotional spending triggers. Stop buying things because you're lonely, bored, or trying to make others happy. Your financial security is more important than anyone's temporary pleasure. You know what Mrs. Amina told me? I sleep better knowing my life doesn't collapse because someone else doesn't show up. That's the peace that comes from financial systems, not wealth, systems. I'm about to get brutally honest about something that makes me absolutely furious. The way we treat our bodies like they're indestructible until they start falling apart. Health preservation habits aren't about looking good or feeling young. They're about one thing: preventing yourself from becoming a burden. And before you get offended by that word burden, let me explain why it matters. Weak health creates dependency faster than any other factor in your life. One fall, one stroke, one diabetes complication, and suddenly you need help with everything: getting dressed, preparing meals, managing medications, getting to appointments. Your independence doesn't gradually fade. It can disappear overnight. And here's what makes my blood pressure spike. Family members who promise to be there for your health needs often discover they're not equipped for the reality of caregiving. It's not their fault entirely. Caring for someone with declining health is exhausting, expensive, and emotionally draining. But their inability to handle it becomes your problem. Let me tell you about Mr. Okoro, 68 years old. 3 years ago, he could barely get out of bed without groaning. His joints were stiff, his back ached constantly, and climbing stairs left him breathless. His children kept saying they'd help him move to a ground-floor apartment, help him with grocery shopping, help him with this and that, but Mr. Okoro got tired of waiting for help. He got angry at his body for failing him and angrier at his situation for making him dependent. So he started what he calls his 10-10-10 routine. 10 minutes of joint mobility every morning, simple stretches and movements to keep his body from seizing up. 10 minutes of brisk walking, even if it's just around his neighborhood block. 10 minutes of light core strengthening exercises. Nothing fancy, just basic movements to keep his core muscles from completely deteriorating. That's it, 30 minutes a day. But here's the transformation that makes me want to shake people and tell them to wake up. Mr. Okoro now carries his own groceries. He travels solo to visit friends in other cities. He doesn't need help getting up from chairs or climbing stairs. His children's promises to help became irrelevant because he doesn't need their help. Every strong step is one less thing you need help for. Every day you maintain your mobility is another day you control your own life. Here's your non-negotiable daily routine. Walk and move your joints every single day. I don't care if it's raining, snowing, or you don't feel like it. Your future independence depends on today's movement. Add 2 simple strength exercises: push-ups against a wall, squats using a chair for support. Something to maintain muscle mass that disappears frighteningly fast after 60. Replace 1 meal a day with genuinely nutrient-dense food. Not diet food, not low-fat processed garbage, real nutrition that feeds your cells and supports your energy. Schedule quarterly medical check-ins, not just when something goes wrong. Prevention is cheaper and less painful than treatment. This pillar makes me angrier than all the others combined, because emotional dependency is the cruelest trap of aging. At 60 and beyond, life throws curveballs that can shatter your mental stability overnight. Your children move away for career opportunities. Your spouse develops dementia or passes away. Your friends start dying or become too ill to socialize. Retirement strips away your professional identity and daily purpose. And society's response? Stay positive. Find new hobbies. Join social groups. As if loneliness and grief can be cured with activities and cheerful thinking. Here's what infuriates me. We teach people that emotional support should come from others. We create this expectation that family and friends will provide the emotional stability we need. But emotional needs are like physical hunger. They're constant, they're personal, and ultimately only you can truly satisfy them. Let me tell you about Mrs. Liu, 72 years old. Her sister was her best friend, her confidant, her emotional anchor for over 7 decades. When her sister passed away from cancer, Mrs. Liu didn't just lose a sibling, she lost her primary source of emotional support. Her children called more frequently for a few months, sent flowers, visited when they could, but their lives resumed their normal pace, while Mrs. Liu's world remained shattered. She could have spent the rest of her life waiting for others to fill the emotional void her sister left behind. Instead, Mrs. Liu got angry. Angry at death for taking her sister. Angry at loneliness for consuming her days. Angry at herself for being so dependent on one person for her emotional stability. She built an emotional routine that makes her stronger every day. Morning journaling, not gratitude lists or positive affirmations, but honest writing about her feelings, her fears, her memories. Breathing exercises that calm her nervous system without requiring anyone else's presence. Evening reflection where she acknowledges what she handled well that day. Her peace comes from within now, not from who visits or calls. Her emotional stability doesn't fluctuate based on other people's availability or attention. When your mind is steady, no life change can throw you off balance. Not your children's busy schedules, not friends who gradually drift away, not the inevitable losses that come with aging. Here's what you're going to do. 5 minutes of morning grounding every single day. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and prepare your mind for whatever the day brings. Find one uplifting hobby that feeds your soul, something you do for pure joy, not to impress others or fill time. Write down 3 wins every evening, not huge accomplishments, small victories like making a good meal, having a pleasant conversation, handling a difficult situation with grace. Cut out friendships that drain your energy. Stop spending time with people who leave you feeling worse about yourself or your life. The 4th pillar is about something that should make you absolutely furious. The myth that family relationships are automatically the strongest and most reliable connections in your life. Here's a painful truth. Blood relationships are often burdened with history, expectations, guilt, and complicated dynamics that chosen relationships don't carry. Your sister might love you, but still trigger your insecurities from childhood. Your adult children might care deeply, but feel obligated rather than genuinely excited to spend time with you. Chosen relationships, friendships, and community connections built around shared interests and genuine enjoyment of each other's company often stay more consistent, uplifting, and drama-free than family relationships. But society guilt trips us into believing that choosing friends over family is somehow wrong or disloyal. We're told to forgive family members who consistently disappoint us, to keep trying with relatives who drain our energy, to prioritize blood connections even when they're toxic or unreliable. I'm here to tell you that's garbage. After 60, you don't have time for relationships that consistently leave you feeling worse about yourself or your life. Let me tell you about Mr. Bio, 67 years old. After his retirement, he lost contact with most of his work friends. His old neighborhood friends had either moved away or become absorbed in their own family's dramas. His siblings lived in different states, and their conversations always seemed to revolve around old grievances or current problems. Mr. Bayo felt isolated and started depending too heavily on his adult children for social connection. But their visits felt obligatory, their phone calls rushed, their attention divided between him and their own busy lives. Instead of becoming bitter about family relationships, Mr. Bayo joined a photography group at the community center. These people became his second family, not because they had to, but because they wanted to. They checked on him during illness, invited him to exhibitions and coffee meetings, celebrated his photography improvements and life milestones. These relationships don't carry the baggage of shared history or family expectations. They're built purely on mutual interest and genuine affection. When Mr. Bayo spends time with his photography friends, he feels energized and valued. When he spends time with some family members, he often feels drained or criticized. Belonging doesn't have to come from family alone. You can build it with people who choose to be in your life. Here's what you're going to do, starting this month. Join one community group based on something you actually enjoy. A book club, walking group, volunteering organization, hobby club, not something you think you should like, something you genuinely find interesting. Reconnect with one old friend per month, people you lost touch with not because of conflict, but simply because life got busy. Many of these connections can be rekindled and might become some of your most treasured relationships. Attend one new social event every quarter. A lecture, community festival, class, workshop. Something where you might meet like-minded people who could become genuine friends. The fifth pillar addresses something that makes me absolutely livid: the way society treats people over 60 like their productive, meaningful life is over. Retirement, empty nest syndrome, physical changes. They're all treated like endings rather than new beginnings. People are encouraged to take it easy, enjoy your golden years, relax, and let others take care of things now. That's not just wrong, it's dangerous. Without direction and purpose, life becomes repetitive, boring, and joyless. You start existing instead of living. You start waiting for other people to bring meaning to your days instead of creating meaning yourself. A purpose that pulls you forward isn't about grand gestures or saving the world. It's about having a reason to wake up excited, something that makes you lose track of time, a mission that gives your life direction regardless of what anyone else is doing. Let me tell you about Madame Teresa, 65 years old. She spent 35 years in banking, climbing corporate ladders, managing other people's money, living for weekends and vacation time. When she retired, everyone expected her to relax, travel, enjoy her freedom. Instead, Madame Teresa felt lost and purposeless. Her days blended together in a haze of television, household tasks, and waiting for family members to call or visit. She was existing, not living. Then she got angry at herself for wasting her knowledge and experience, angry at the assumption that retirement meant becoming useless, angry at the boredom and emptiness that was consuming her days. She started teaching free financial literacy classes at the community center. Her purpose shifted from earning money to impacting lives. She began helping people understand budgeting, savings, investment basics, knowledge that could change their entire financial futures. The transformation was remarkable. Her energy returned. Her confidence soared. Her days became structured around something meaningful rather than just filled with time-killing activities. She discovered that aging could be a journey of continued growth rather than gradual decline. When purpose drives you, aging becomes an adventure rather than a sentence. Every day brings opportunities to learn, contribute, grow, and make a difference, regardless of your age or physical limitations. Here's what you're going to do. List activities that make you lose track of time. Not activities you think are productive or impressive, activities that genuinely engage your mind and spirit. Choose one project you can start this month. Something small and manageable, but meaningful to you. Find ways to mentor younger people. Share your knowledge, experience, wisdom with people who can benefit from what you've learned. This isn't about feeling important. It's about staying connected to growth and progress. Set small, weekly goals that move you towards something you care about. Not huge, life-changing objectives, simple, achievable goals that give your weeks direction and purpose. Let me summarize what I've been trying to burn into your consciousness. Solid financial systems that don't depend on other people's promises or availability. Consistent health habits that preserve your independence and mobility. Emotional self-support that keeps you stable regardless of who's present in your life. Intentional networks built around shared interests rather than family obligations. A mission that fuels your daily energy and gives your life ongoing purpose. After 60, these foundations stand stronger than promises, proximity, or expectations. They don't get weaker when family members move away, get busy, or develop their own problems. They don't disappoint you or let you down when you need them most. Build them now and they'll carry you through every season of life. The good times and the inevitable challenges that aging brings. I'm angry because too many good people learn these truths too late. I'm angry because society keeps selling fairy tales instead of preparing people for reality. I'm angry because dependence and disappointment are preventable if people build the right foundations early enough. But mostly, I'm angry because independence after 60 isn't just possible, it's essential. And every day you wait to build these pillars is another day you remain vulnerable to other people's limitations and life's unpredictable changes. Don't wait until you're sitting alone wondering where everyone went. Don't wait until health problems make you dependent. Don't wait until financial pressures force you to rely on family promises that might not materialize. Start building your independence today. Start creating systems that work regardless of who's available to help. Start developing habits that preserve your strength, stability, and self-sufficiency. Which pillar do you want to strengthen first? Because the time for hoping others will take care of you is over. The time for taking care of yourself is now.